Oh, here we go. So I've had to restart my character entirely, and I finally got into getting Cayo Perico bounty. So I'm going to partially call this the road back to Cayo Perico. So career starter, which is the best? This is a really big chunky topic, but I will give you my opinion based on having to start again, but from an experienced player's perspective. So what can I tell you? We have these four options, and which one you choose is really important. Rule out biker straight away. I'll just rule it out. Executive, the agency. Now there are a lot of benefits with that, with like Imani tech, having a safe that can fill up, but you will have to do a lot of side missions to get a full safe, and it will find it repetitive to do the contract, albeit it's a 1 million payoff. For me, it's something you get later. That leaves us with Gunrunner and Nightclub Owner. Now Gunrunner is great because you can start making money, particularly if you buy the upgrades early. You can start making money from it, but it's very repetitive, a real grind. And again, I think it's the second thing to get, but you do get access to Mark II weapons, which leaves us Nightclub Owner, which I think there's more to spend on this, but there is the option of some fantastic things around this, particularly around passive income. It is the best one, and I will explain why that is and how it works. For me, it's Nightclub, Gunrunner second. You can do them the other way around if you want to grind the Gunrunner, but those are your two choices. Now then, in terms of vehicles, you need an armoured vehicle. Kuruma is the cheapest, though you can get a Duke of Death for free, so bear that in mind and look that up before you buy the Kuruma, because it's probably a better car. For guns, special carbine is a banker plus some sort of grenade launcher, maybe the homing launcher, although it's not great. You only pick up RPG at level 100, but that's something you probably want to be thinking about getting for that. Now then, the Nightclub, why is it so great? It is the best for passive income. If you keep your popularity topped up, which is easy to do, then you will get 50k per in-game session. And when you are starting early in the game, this is probably as good a way as any to be making money while you're exploring. Now, something unfortunately that you have to do, you do have to invest a lot of money in the Nightclub, so I will be upfront about that. To get those passive cargo incomes going, you will have to get a clubhouse and other parts of it. At least you can do it in stages, but that upfront it's not the straightforward cost. You're gonna have to keep investing in it. So you will need to get a clubhouse, and you just need to think very carefully about the location versus the cost that it does. You don't need the custom bike shop. You can make extra money from that, but once you have got your custom bike, once you've got your clubhouse, then you can start ramping up that passive income. And what you will need to do is you need to buy these little extra businesses. So you need to think about clumping them together. So there's my warehouse, where's my clubhouse, which is right next to my Nightclub. And for my actual MC businesses, these are the things that are going to earn you passive cargo in the Nightclub. I've grouped them all together. So again, you do these one at a time, and you need to consider the cost of the more centrally it's located, the higher the cost, and also the more valuable the business, the higher the cost. So that location, you will have to go back to it and keep topping up. So for these businesses, my top tip is spend less but get them in one area, and I'll show you where on my maps. If you look on the right hand side of the lake, pretty much all of my businesses are around the lake. You can actually go back later and swap them out for other ones that are in better locations. So here, for instance, it's need 2 million, so it's another 900k to have something right centrally, but I have gone for one. So here it's 1 million, but it's up in Plateau, but right at the top of the map. You don't want to be doing delivery missions from there. So what this allows you to do is when you've bought those additional businesses, it means that you can use the warehouse management section to start getting past filling up those blocks at the bottom. So those different types, so organic, produce, the weed factory. And what you need to do essentially here is just be building up your additional layers of passive income. So you start with the one technician, you assign them, but you need to buy those businesses to start earning money from. Some organic produce, bought the weed, and then once you bought that business, then you need to buy the technician to start accruing stock from each of those individual businesses until you built up all 5 basically. Now the other thing that you can do again gradually is adding floors to your storage facility. This means that you'll hold more stock within them. So buying 5 is really expensive straight away, and again you can upgrade the garages, but just focus on storage, adding technicians, adding businesses one by one. And when you're outside the business, you can call Johan when you've got it, and then go and do a nightclub mission to top it up as well. So my top tip for this, really save money early on, is get those motor club businesses close together and buy a really cheap garage. So here I've got 27k garage in Grapeseed, which is kind of in the center of all of those businesses that I've slowly been accruing. And what that means is you can set that as your spawn point in preferences, and then start a new session and it will teleport you there. So even though they're further away, you can easily teleport with a new session, which takes like 10-15 seconds to teleport you to that side of the map. And even though there's slightly cheaper ones right at the top of the map, that means for things like sell missions, you're kind of in the middle. So you're never going the whole length of the map. All of my businesses are around there at the moment. And when I've got enough money, I'll move them back centrally south so that they're nearer the other imports. So hiring technician, it costs more for each one. I'll show you the cost of the final guy. I think it's like 350k, something like that. So we bought the businesses. We're now slowly assigning technicians to be gathering goods on them. There are 8 that you can get, but you can only have there's 7 that you can get, but you can only have 5 technicians working at once. And printing, copying, cash creation are the lowest performing businesses in terms of money, and also you can't sell produce from them to street dealers, so they're probably not even worth getting at all, even when you're loaded. But there we go. I have all 5 now. I've been slowly building up as I've been gaining money in the game. And another massive tip on this is don't waste your money on vehicles. There's actually a whole bunch of them that are free, including the Duke of Death. Sometimes another armoured car you can get for free a lot of the time. You don't have to spend that 600k on the Karuma. But there's all kinds of motorcycles in there. There's cars that don't blow it all 3 million on a sports car until you're ready to do it. Now, second business, I would go for the Chumash. So even though Zancudo Bunkers only 100 grand less, that Chumash one's just in a slightly better location. And that is the one to go for. It's in a great location. And for offices, the other part of your nightclubs, you probably will need to get an office at some point to get that special cargo going. And once you can spend 4 million on the Maze Bank Tower, you can just get the 1 million businesses, or that's a very similar location just by the beach. So we have now our special cargo, having bought the office, we've maxed out our technicians. Now also we've got our gun running thing, and the really nice thing with this is you get access to the Mark II weapons again, but you have to wait a long time. So you have to basically, with your supplies, choose whether you're going to just make money with it or do research. Personally, I think it's better to do both and keep accruing. Again, why I think the nightclub's a better active way to be getting money going while you're doing other things in the game. But you really will want these Mark II weapons at some point. And the other thing to consider is these upgrades, so staff and equipment that will basically improve the speed and improve the amount of money that you're getting from the gun running business. So there we go, that is my thoughts on which way to go, and then ultimately that's going to get us what I think is the best thing in the game. Best money maker is Cayo Perico, getting 1.5 million each time that you do it. Obviously there's a cooldown period, but I think that's the order to go. Start with that nightclub, slowly build it up, get the right gun running, and then when you're ready, you've got enough money, Cayo all the way.